Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight?
Aha!
Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
Tonight's meal, tilapia surprise with boiled cabbage. Begin cooking steps 1 through 50 now.
Are you kidding me? Making dinner shouldn't feel like doing a 1,000-piece puzzle. With Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals, the hard part's already done. Pre-chopped ingredients, zero stress. Just assemble, bake, and enjoy. No complicated steps, no mountain of dishes. Try Assemble and Bake today. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Your home is a reflection of you. Who you choose to do your roofing, siding, windows, and doors matters. For 25 years, Henderson Roofing has served homeowners in Connecticut and Rhode Island. Founded and run by John Henderson himself. They pair quality materials with expert work. Just ask the thousands of homeowners who've given them 5-star reviews. Henderson Roofing, the partner you and your family can trust. Henderson-roofing.com for your free estimate. That's Henderson-roofing.com.
The feeling of just showered freshness can't be beat. With Downy Intense, bursts of just showered freshness can accompany you throughout the day. Really? Yep. Downy Intense's touch-activated technology releases bursts of clean, fresh aromas, so you can enjoy the feeling of just showered freshness. New Downy Intense. An incredible freshness experience awaits.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can, and they did. Smell like Suntown and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Tides and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
Attention skilled tradespeople and sales pros. Are you ready to join a team where your hard work is valued and your career can thrive? Gem Plumbing and Heating has 2 new branch offices in Massachusetts and is hiring. We're looking for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, drain, and sales professionals who are ready to take their careers to the next level. Enjoy competitive pay, benefits, and a supportive team environment. Plus, we're offering attractive sign-on bonuses. Don't wait. To join our growing team, apply at AskGem.com today.
From the WEEI studios, the exclusive home for Patriots Monday and Friday. 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the Infinity Sports Network. Here's Sean Levine.
Hour number 2 rolling right along. Bills touchdown, 6:24 left. Sunday Night Football. Patriots get the ball back 20-17 with the lead. We will keep you updated on the happenings in this one. Welcome back into the show with Connor spinning the wheels back in studio on the sports machine, Sean Levine. The number's 888-710-4ISN. I love this time of year. We got college football. We got playoff baseball. NBA's coming back. A little bit of hockey right around the corner. Obviously, we got plenty of NFL football and Halloween. And I got to tell you, I've always loved Halloween. It's always been my favorite holiday. Although growing up in my household, it was very embarrassing because my dad fancies himself as like he's a journalist, but he's like an amateur magician. He always liked to perform tricks for us kids, which was fine. It was embarrassing, but it was just me and my sisters. And then once a year on Halloween, he thought that he would all of a sudden turn into David Blaine. And his tricks were so bad. But you know how the kid rings the doorbell and says trick or treat, and 99.9999999% of the time gets candy? We were the 0.001 where my dad would sit there in his chair and perform a trick. And it was usually just taking off his thumb. He didn't actually take off his thumb. And it was embarrassing, especially because we lived next to the house on the right. Every year made this dope haunted house. The house on the left gave out full-size Hershey's bars, and then I got my dad pretending like he's taking his thumb off. You know how disappointed kids are on Halloween when all they're trying to do is go on a speed run to get as much candy as they can, and then my old-ass dad sitting in his rocking chair performing a trick that takes upwards of 10 minutes. It's brutal. Anyway, I do love Halloween. 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. Last year, I was going out with this girl for the first time on Halloween, and she said, do you have any costumes to dress? We were like texting back and forth. And I said, yeah, I got a Batman costume. Well, I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea. I was lying, is what I was doing. I didn't have a Batman costume. I just thought that I would tell her I had a Batman costume. And then she was like, oh, I have a Wonder Woman costume. We should go out together on Halloween. It would look great. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. And then I had to scramble. This was the day before Halloween. Then I had to scramble on Halloween to find a Batman costume, and I couldn't find one. And it was too late to order one on Amazon. So I decided that this was just last year, that the best thing to do would be to just dress up as Bruce Wayne. Not Batman, but like just wear a suit and a tie. So I meet up with this girl at the bar for the first time, and she's decked out in full Wonder Woman, and I just look like a businessman. So anyway, 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. Bills get the ball back, 5:52 left on the move, down 3 against the Patriots. Patriots win this game. All of a sudden, they're 3-2. Buffalo's 4-1. Patriots have the tiebreaker, and New England's thinking, we're back. If we beat Buffalo on the road and they only have one game on us in the division, maybe we can go on a little run here and the Patriots can, I don't know, dare I say, make the playoffs, compete with Buffalo, because we thought the Bills were going to run away with this thing. If the Bills win this game, then we're just going to look at the division and we're going to go Patriots under 500. Jets haven't won a game. Miami might fire their coach overnight after losing it again earlier today. This is a big swing game, if you will, in the division. Let's look at some of the other finals from earlier today. Way earlier today, the Vikings beat the Browns 21-17. Now that we've had a month of Browns, actually, let's start with the Vikings, of Vikings football, do we think that it was a good move or the wrong move to let Sam Darnold walk? Because if you look at Sam Darnold's numbers, right, through 4 touchdowns today, a big interception, but ultimately he looks a lot like the quarterback that went out there for the Vikings last year and had 35 touchdowns and led the team to 14 regular season wins. Sam Darnold looks everything like what a top 10 NFL quarterback is supposed to look like. And again, led the Vikings to 14 wins last year. We talked about a lot of teams in the NFC last year, Detroit and Philly and Frisco and DC. It's almost like we forgot that Minnesota won 14, again, regular season games last year and then let their quarterback walk. That couldn't have been an easy decision, especially because J.J. McCarthy, it's not like he was Caleb Williams. It's not like he was a Heisman Trophy winning #1 overall pick, a guy that looked like a can't-miss type prospect. He was just another quarterback drafted in the first round that the Vikings were throwing a shot at and seeing what they end up having. And so far through the first month of the season, especially because he's hurt, we don't really know anything about J.J. McCarthy. Can you imagine if this Vikings team, with the NFC, with the NFL as wide open as it is right now, where we can't even decide who the best team is really in the AFC or the NFC right now, if the Vikings still had Sam Darnold and weren't messing with the Carson Wentz, injured rookie, J.J. McCarthy, BS at quarterback, let's say they probably would have won one more game and lost one less. They'd be 4-1 right now and a problem in the NFC, a team that legitimately could get to a Super Bowl. So I think it was the wrong decision, even though we're only a month into it. Maybe they go on some streak when he comes back and he's healthy and J.J. McCarthy looks like the next Jaden Daniels, and I'll be eating my words. But I doubt it. I think that was a very short-sighted mistake for the Minnesota Vikings, where they had this window open, a Super Bowl window. If you're winning 14 regular season games, you're in that conversation. You don't go 14-3 by accident. And then you take yourself out of said Super Bowl conversation to go with a rookie quarterback. I think that they're probably regretting that decision, even though they did win today with Carson Wentz. As far as the Browns go and their quarterback, I said this at the beginning of the year. Now, I was saying you might as well put Shador out there because he's got the most upside, even though he's a 5th-round draft pick. We all know that was a bunch of malarkey, whatever happened on draft day. We're just talking about his actual upside and what he could be, whether it's his size or his accuracy or his arm or his bloodlines or how good he was in college, I would say even heading into this season, there was more upside for him than any other quarterback in that very weird quarterback room. Remember at one point it was Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco. You also had Dylan Gabriel and Shador. Like, that's a very crowded quarterback room where I was saying you got to go with one of the young guys. I thought that was the decision Cleveland would make heading into the season, whether it was Shador or whether it was Dylan Gabriel. If they wanted to go with Dylan Gabriel, fine. He was drafted ahead of Shador, makes sense, whatever. But you don't draft two quarterbacks in the same draft to put a 42-year-old Joe Flacco on the field. It didn't make any sense, especially for a coach that was trying to keep his job. And now they're 1-4, so they're 1-3 heading into this game because that's how it works. And they decided to put Dylan Gabriel out there today. Once you're 1-3 in the NFL, you're done. You're buried. I think I saw a stat that one team in the history of the NFL that started 1-3 ends up making the playoffs. So the Browns basically dug their own grave before they even put Dylan Gabriel or Shador on the field by making the decision to go with Joe Flacco. It was a very strange one. And now they lost another football game. The question is it Dylan Gabriel's job going forward? Is Cleveland, as long as he stays healthy, going to let that guy be the quarterback for the last, 12 games left for the Cleveland Browns? You know there's not going to be a playoff run. And is it Dylan Gabriel's show? Or is it Dylan Gabriel, you better be watching over your shoulder because we got this other guy in Shador Sanders that this season has pretty much become, let's just see if we can find out if either one of these guys are the quarterback of the future. That's how I would handle it if I was the Browns. I wouldn't just say, all right, Dylan Gabriel, you're now the guy, because that's what they did. They said, Dylan Gabriel, you're the starter, and they didn't even make Shador the backup. What the hell did this guy do? Like, did he make a deal with the devil, or did somebody have pictures? What's going on behind the scenes with Shador that this kid can't win? Because I remember this time a year and a half ago, or a year and a couple of months ago, he was leading Colorado football back to not prominence, but at least relevance. Colorado football was crap for 30 years until he got there. All of a sudden, they're fun. They're winning football games. He's the most accurate quarterback in college football history. And I had people that are a lot smarter than me that know more about football. Their entire job, the Mel Kipers, the Todd McShays, all they do all year is try to figure out where and who's going to get drafted where in the NFL draft. That's it. And all of them told me that this Shador Sanders kid's probably going to be the first pick, probably going to be the first quarterback taken, certainly going to be a first-round pick. That's all we heard leading up to the draft. And then on draft day, he slides out the first, second, third, fourth. At that point, I think we all go, okay, there's some fugazi going on right here. So I'm not going to pretend like Shador's your typical fifth-round pick because he's not. And if you're the Browns and you've got no upside for this season because you're 1-4, get Joe Flacco's ass out of there. You know, whatever his buyout is, and get him an old Honda Accord or something. Get him something nice, some sort of a compensation package for what he's done. But why is he even still on the roster? Your team's not going anywhere. He's 42 years old, and that's what's standing in the way of Shador? Damn. I don't blame him for miming to the media and not wanting to talk into a microphone. What's he supposed to say when somebody asked the question directly to Shador, hey, why do you think you're still the third-string quarterback? His head's probably ready to explode. He knows everything that I just said, that he was great, not good, but great in college, finished, third in the Heisman Trophy voting, and then all of a sudden, the NFL just treats this guy like he's a total scrub. He better get an opportunity. Now, maybe he gets opportunity and fails, but if he does, that just makes him another Cleveland Browns quarterback. Dylan Gabriel was the 41st starting quarterback in the last 25 years for the Cleveland Browns. So why not put number 42 out there, Shador, and see what you got? 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. Vikings beat the Browns 21-17. Colts beat up on the Raiders 40-6. And the Raiders are bad. I remember taking a bunch of phone calls at the beginning of this year in the offseason from Raiders fans saying, Sports Machine, you're such a Chiefs honk. You think your team's going to win the division every year. And I was piping back saying, well, they have won the division every year for the last 8. And I do think that Denver's better. And I do think the Chargers are better. But I was saying the Raiders still suck. And I'm still saying the Raiders suck. They got beat down. I'm an idiot, and I bet on the Raiders plus 7.5 in this game against the Colts. The Colts are really good. The Colts are just a football team that's well coached. At the beginning of the year, we thought Shane Steichen was on the hot seat. Now it's the exact opposite. He should probably be the favorite to be the NFL Coach of the Year. We looked at their quarterback situation, at least I did, and said that's got to be one of the worst quarterback rooms this side of New Orleans. It might not be as bad as Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner and Tyler Shook, whoever those guys are, but the Colts at the beginning of this year had to choose between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Neither one of those guys sounded like a great option. Clearly, they made the right choice, and Daniel Jones and the Colts are 4-1 and look like they're the team to beat in the division. Let's see what Jacksonville does tomorrow, because if they beat my Chiefs, then all of a sudden they're 4-1 too. But as of right now, this minute, the Colts, one of the best teams in the NFL. Offense, defense, special teams, quarterback, whatever. The Saints won a football game earlier today. This was, if you're a bettor, this is one of those games where you looked at it this morning right before you made your bets and you went, what? Why are the Saints favored to win? And you know what I did? I just bet on them. I was like, somebody knows something. And obviously they did. Because there's no reason if you're the Giants that you don't win this type of football game. I'm not trying to tell you the Giants are a good football team. But I think the Giants are a little bit better than their 1-4 record. And at least they had momentum going for them. At the beginning of the year, going with Russell Wilson was a very head-scratching decision. That was almost as dumb as going with Joe Flacco. Like, what's the point here? You're going with these old, washed-up, former Super Bowl champion quarterbacks that were good a decade ago, in the case of both Flacco and Russell Wilson. Not for nothing, both those head coaches trying to keep their jobs. Very head-scratching decisions. And then a few weeks into it, guess what? We all knew it was going to happen. Quarterback's not good. Team loses football games. All of a sudden, you put in the rookie. In the case of the Giants, they put Jackson Dart out there last week, and the numbers didn't blow you away, but they won the game. And there was a good vibe going in New York for a team that was 1-3 heading into this one. At least if they were a stock, you could say they were heading up, and there was reason for good feelings. Not anymore. Now you go out there and you lose to the Saints. If the Giants win, they're 2-3. They've won 2 games in a row, and Jackson Dart's puffing his chest out, and he's the man as far as New York quarterbacks go. Well, I know Buffalo's technically in New York, but New York City quarterbacks go. The Saints beat them 26-14. Bad look for the Giants. Bad look for Brian Dable. It's not a good way to keep your job, losing the Saints. Cowboys beat up on the Jets 37-22. Speaking of jobs in New York coaches, I almost feel bad for Aaron Glenn because obviously he's got a lot of connections and he cares deeply about that organization. But that organization has so much stunk on it that I can't say I'm too surprised that they're 0-5 out the gates. That just feels like a football team that's still a couple of years away. The Justin Fields experiment's going, honestly, exactly how I thought it was going to. Like, he looks fine, I think is the best way to describe it. He doesn't look like he's a top 10 quarterback. He doesn't look like he's bad enough to be a backup. He's somebody's starter, and he happens to be the Jets right now. And the Jets the last couple of years, again, I don't blame them for going with Justin Fields as their starter because let's remember, they had the mother lover a couple of years ago, Zach Wilson, and that didn't work out well. And that guy was, the second pick in the draft? So what are you going to do? All right, Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, let's bring him in. He gets injured 5 minutes later. He sucks the next year. Again, I don't blame the Jets for going with the Justin Fields experiment, but this is probably what you should have expected. 0-5, and, well, doesn't look great. The Cowboys, however, if you remember week 1 on the road against Philadelphia, Philly is at the crib. Philly's a touchdown favorite coming off the Super Bowl championship, unveiling the banner. They got the stage to themselves, Thursday Night Football. That had every single reason for Philadelphia to beat the brakes off the Cowboys. The Cowboys had just traded away Micah Parsons like 5 days before. And the fact the Cowboys hung around in that game could have and probably should have won. I remember thinking, you know what? That's actually not a bad football team. You know what a bad football team is. The Jets are a bad football team. The Giants are a bad football team. The Saints are a bad football. It's pretty obvious when you say a bad football team. The Cowboys are not a bad football team. The Cowboys are probably even better than their 2-2-1 record. Hung with Green Bay, tied that game. I hate ties. Could have and should have won that game opening week versus Philadelphia. The only head-scratching thing about the Cowboys through the first month is how did they end up getting curb stomped against the Chicago Bears? Like, remember that wasn't that long ago. How did that happen? But it did, so that's how the Cowboys are a 500 football team. But at the end of the year, remember I told you first, they're going to be in the playoffs. 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. On the other side, let's look at the new college football poll. And is James Franklin good as gone? I'm the sports machine, Sean Levine. This is the Infinity Sports Network.
So I was on eBay because I'm absolutely obsessed
with this rare hologram trading card. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. eBay had it. They even had
the perfect parts that fit my car.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning online learning program.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by education experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 10,000 learning activities and more than 850 lessons, it's an engaging and comprehensive curriculum. More info at abcmouse.com/radio.
I have been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
So I was on eBay because I'm absolutely obsessed
with this rare hologram trading card. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. eBay had it. They even had
the perfect parts that fit my car.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay.
Finally, a flight that's actually nice. Book Breeze Airways for nonstop service from Rhode Island TF Green International Airport to Savannah, Myrtle Beach, Greenville, Spartanburg, and more. Breeze makes travel easy with nonstop flights to desirable destinations and flexible, friendly change policies. Relax on board with high-speed Wi-Fi, delicious snacks, and a premium first-class seat in Breeze Ascent. Plan your trip today at flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways, seriously nice, in partnership with Rhode Island TF Green International Airport.
Getting on the network Warwick relies on is easy when you come into the Verizon store at 399 Bald Hill Road. Come check out the latest deals on phones, accessories, and so much more. From shopping to support and everything in between. It's your one-stop shop to get it all. And when you switch to Verizon, you choose what goes into your unlimited plan and save on what you need. There's never been a better time to switch to the network Warwick relies on. Visit the Verizon store at 399 Bald Hill Road to speak with Dion and save big today.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
T-Mobile is more than the best network in the game. They're now the best network in America, according to the experts at Ookla Speed Test. So MLB fans are connected from home to home plate. With the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and a signal that goes farther than ever, you can keep up with your teams on the road, overseas, and even off the grid. For baseball fans, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H2025, compatible device and plan required for T-Satellite. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Once upon a dismal day, Bob's ice cream van looked gloomy and gray. Although he had big ambitions, his socials lacked creative vision.
That bad?
Maybe vamp it up a tad?
I have an idea.
Bob launched Canva and got into gear.
Create the video in the vampire theme and make it the funniest SME.
It went viral. Bob's business, a revival. Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
800-785-9132.
WEEI, Boston Sports Original.
Want Boston sports 24/7? It's easy. Download the Odyssey app and listen on demand anytime.
You're listening to the Infinity Sports Network. Here's Sean Levine.
It is getting late in the fourth quarter. Sunday Night Football from Buffalo. There is 1:13 left between the Patriots and the Bills, and it is 2020. And I'm Keith Morrison. Or wait, is he Dateline, Connor, or is he 2020?
I feel like he's Dateline.
I feel like he's Dateline, too.
I cannot
but
look it up, but yeah.
I'm still Keith Morrison. Or am I? I love it when he does that. He's like, but the killer was no longer in the house. Or was he? Keith Morrison's the best, bro. Although he doesn't have the scariest voice of all time. Do you remember the original Unsolved Mysteries? What was that? Robert Stack?
I don't remember it, no.
Bro, if you want to be terrified, it doesn't even matter what this guy's talking about. He can be telling you the school lunch order.
Yeah.
And Robert Stack has just the scariest voice of all time.
Yeah,
but
do
anyway.
You know,
who you got?
I forget who the voice is in the Thriller music video. You know who I'm talking about?
Do you remember? Yeah, I think that would be Michael Jackson. Is the voice you're looking for?
No, not Michael Jackson. Like when the zombies are coming out of the ground. You know who's doing the narration?
Yeah, that guy.
I don't know who that is, but he has
it's a good voice. Yeah. We need more 'tis the season for scary music. I feel like any time it's like somebody put on some scary music. Is there anything besides Thriller? Like, what else could you... I'm sure that maybe some Ozzy, some Black Sabbath?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe some old Limp Bizkit break stuff? Like, is that good? I don't know, Smashing Pumpkins seems like it'd be appropriate. I don't know, little butterfly wings. I'm just spitballing here. All right, anyway, Patriots and Bills. That album, by the way, what was it, Bullet with Butterfly Wings? That Smashing Pumpkins double disc? That was A Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. One of the best double discs of all time. Remember CDs? You guys remember CD? Anyway, 20-20, the Bills and the Patriots right now. The Patriots have the ball, 4th and 5 at the Buffalo 34. So they are going to line up for a field goal. And since I'm trying to host this radio show, Connor's going to watch that. And then he's going to tell us if it's good or not. And then we're going to move on with our lives. 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. This would be one of those games where if the Patriots win, that's not just a good win. That's as good of a win as you could possibly have. You go on the road, Sunday night, national stage, everybody's watching you against the MVP division opponent, and you beat the Bills, who were previously undefeated. Then we got to start to talk about Mike Vrabel, coach of the year circles, Patriots as a playoff team. But if the Bills somehow pull this thing out, then they're just going to be 5-0. And the second closest team in the division to them at that point is going to be these Patriots with a 2-3 record. So basically what I'm telling you is if the Bills somehow win this game, basically the division, the season is over with. And I'm not saying they're going to be the 1 seed, but they're going to win the division. If the Patriots win, then I don't really know what I'm saying. 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. So again, 20 seconds left. 20's all over the place. 20 seconds left. 20-20 is the score right now. Timeout, New England, and they are lining up from the 34, so make it 44. So it's about a 50-yard field goal with 20 seconds left, and it is up, and it is good. Right down the middle, New England takes the lead 23-20 with 15 seconds left. So unless it was 14 seconds left and they're going to rent Patrick Mahomes, Buffalo, they're probably not going to win this football game, and that's a bad loss. And now I think we're going to need to reconsider the AFC and who's really at the top of this thing and who's really the team to beat, because Buffalo, heading into this game, yeah, they were undefeated, but if you really broke it down with a fine-tooth comb, the opponents were 2-14 of the teams that they had played. So they were beating up on bad football teams. And yeah, they win the division every single year since Sean McDermott has been there, basically since Josh Allen's been the quarterback. But what does that really mean? They've beat a Brady-less Patriots team, a Miami Dolphins team that sucked for years, and the Jets have sucked even longer. So it's pretty easy to rack up a bunch of wins. Maybe we're figuring out why Buffalo keeps winning 12, 11, 13 games. Their quarterback wins the MVP, and then all of a sudden they poop right down their leg in the playoffs. Lack of regular season competition. 888-710-4ISN is the phone number. Looks like the Patriots are going to win this game. If Buffalo comes back, we will obviously keep you updated. As far as college football goes, let's talk about college for a while. Why not? I spent 6.5 years undergrad. I know a little something about college. The preseason polls are dumb. Now, they're necessary because we have to know who everybody's chasing. And for the gambling degenerates like myself, you have to have a number next to the name. You can't just tell me it's Utah. I got to know if Utah's ranked number 22 or ranked number 20. You got to tell me a little something, right? And so that's why we have these preseason college polls. But I think what we're realizing is a month in the college football season, they mean basically nothing. Basically, what we're judging these teams on is what's the name of the school. So if you're called Notre Dame or Texas, you automatically get a preseason top 10 ranking just because. How good were you last year? Which, according to college football, doesn't really matter. I mean, with NIL deals and transfers and all the weirdness that is 2025 NCAA sports, just because you were good the year before doesn't mean diddly squat for what you're going to be the next season. So at the beginning of the year, to say that Texas was the preseason number 1 ranked team in the country was ignorant. It was silly. It was stupid. It was short-sighted. What the hell had Texas done to be called the number 1 ranked team in the country? Had they been in the college football playoff the last couple of years? Yeah, but then what? They weren't able to win the big game, and we pointed to Arch Manning? Why? Because his uncles both won a couple of Super Bowls because his last name is Manning? Anybody that watched Arch Manning last year in his limited amount of snaps when he was on the field for Quinn Ewers, if you're like me, you watched him and win.
The Six Rings postgame show, breaking down everything Patriots. Now, here's Fitzy and Hart on WEEI.
The clutch kicker forever was Adam Vinatieri, and New England had him, and he always came through, it seemed, in these spots. Borregales, born in Venezuela, looked up to Vinatieri his whole life as he was part of a field goal kicking family. Now here he is with his first big-time NFL kick. From 52 for the lead. Right down the middle, Borregales nails it. And the Patriots take the lead with 15 seconds remaining.
Suffice to say, ladies and gentle fans of Patriot Nation, we just witnessed not only the upset of a wild Week 5 in the NFL, not only the upset of the year thus far in what has been a bananas 2025 NFL style. That right there, my friends, was the biggest Patriots win since Tom Brady packed his bags and exchanged the blue and silver and red for pewter, creamsicle, and white. Wow. Just absolutely wow. I can't I can kind of believe what I just saw because I thought that the Pats could hang with the Bills tonight, but Buffalo would be the team marching down the field for the last second win tonight. I can believe it. I sure as hell can. Digs it. Whoa. Huh. How about that, huh? I mean, a game that was two halves indeed. A total tale of two halves. A snooze fest. A slog. Sloppy as can be. Turnovers, penalties. Two teams feeling each other out. Both looked ill-prepared. Didn't know what they were doing out there. Not sure exactly how they were going to feel it out. And then the second half, the Pats go up 6-3. The fact that they had two Buffalo fumbles in the first quarter and were only able to squeak out 6 points in the first half kind of left a lot of us thinking, they're going to regret this. You got to get those points on Josh Allen when you get a chance. Come on, guys. Squeeze him in. Come on. Find a way. Find a way. Hang with him. Go to halftime. Come on out. Second half, the heavyweight battle that we were promised. And I got to tell you, I'm stunned that the guy that is constantly compared to the MVP, the Super Bowl favorite, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, Drake May, in his second year, in his fifth game. Mind you, this was game number 17. This was start number 17 for Drake May. So he has now completed his rookie season. He has completed 1 full year as a starter in the NFL. And this was to be the referendum game. This was the benchmark game. This was the litmus test game. This was the, okay, let's see exactly how far along these Patriots are. Do they belong on the same football field as the Buffalo Bills? Can Drake May prove that all the hype and the comparisons to Josh Allen and some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL and him being the highest ranked, the most vaunted of the 2024 QB class, does he belong in all of those conversations? The answer to that question is a resounding hell yes, he does. And the answer to the question as to whether or not these Patriots belong on the same football field as the Buffalo Bills, they don't just belong on it. They own that field tonight. They belong on the same football field as these Buffalo Bills. And if they play that way any given Sunday, perhaps maybe even some later Sundays or Mondays coming up in the near future, friends, guess what? These Patriots belong on the field with just about anybody. Hello and welcome to the Six Rings postgame show live across the WEEI Sports Radio Network, WEEI.com, and of course heard on the Odyssey app. Your old pal Nick Fitzy Stevens here, joined now by the ultimate Patriots fan, of course, Andy Jumbo Hart. We are with you until 1 a.m. tonight. You can jump on the line at 617-779-7937. And, of course, that is also your text line, as will be monitored by producer extraordinaire Zach Coe back in our beautiful, safe Brighton studios, powered by Verizon. We are also on Twitch and YouTube Live, twitch.tv/Boston WEEI, however you want to consume, however you want to interact with the Six Rings postgame show after, again, I'll say it, the biggest Patriots win since the days of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick at Gillette Stadium. We will take Mike Vrabel live, his postgame. As soon as he goes live, we'll have it for you on Six Rings. We'll also take Drake May live. And the fire that I saw out of Drake May on those sidelines, that's the quarterback I've been looking for. That's the dog that Steph Diggs has turned him into. And these, ladies and gentlemen, are your victorious Pats fans. Hell of a turnaround for your old Pats pals there in the second half tonight, huh, Hart?
Just like we drew it up, baby. The upset in Buffalo. Exactly how I saw it. I saw a crappy football game in the first half and then a little bit of a shootout in the second. I saw the Bills losing the turnover battle, and I saw Drake May winning without really having to throw the football into the end zone. I saw Ramondre Stevenson going from GOAT to 2-touchdown hero. Yeah, just everything we predicted came to perfect fruition. It's what we do.
It is amazing. There are just so many unbelievable, potentially anomalous elements to this game. The fact that Ramondre Stevenson fumbled again, and my timeline, I think I favorited 15 of them just to share on the show, but then didn't have time to grab any more. But it was fire this man into the sun. He walks home from Buffalo tonight. Get off my football team. I want nothing more to do with him. To now all of a sudden hero for scoring 2 touchdowns. Side note, Ramondre, when you cross the goal line and you go into the end zone, then you decide to put the second arm around the football.
Oh, leave him alone.
Feel free to practice that on the field or when you get into a scrum or you're about to be tackled. I'm full of joy right now. The Pats just pulled off, I won't say a miracle, but a stunning upset.
No, it was not a miracle. It was a miracle that they overcame some of their crappy penalties late in the game when they tried to give it away. If the Bills had won that game, I might have actually just said the Patriots had lost it. Like, the Bills, like, you were kind of controlling the game until backup defensive linemen started being jackwagons and hitting people 7 minutes after the whistle when they're down on one knee in the backfield. And you tried to give it away, and I'm still mad at Mike Vrabel for whatever a month ago when he said, well, there's no real correlation between winning and losing and penalties, and I'm seeing Verdarian Lowe turn a 3rd and 1 into a 3rd and 6, and I'm like, Vrabel, do you really believe penalties don't lead to losses? Like, what are you talking about?
As only Vidarian Lowe can do, magically, and for my next trick, I'll turn 3rd and 1 into 3rd and 6, just like that. Jeremiah Farmer, you saw Harold Landry. Harold Landry made an incredible play, sniffing out, coming around the end, and tackling James Cook 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And Jeremiah Farmer decided to celebrate by absolutely just dropping all 310 pounds of himself on Cook 3 seconds later. Guy, what are you doing? You've got a 10-point lead in Buffalo.
Let's leave that for later. Let's enjoy the victory. You have... Screw Mac Jones and his ugly-ass suit and any of these, like, retroactive debates people were trying to chum up.
What did Michael McCorkle do to you? Come on.
Screw all that. You have a legitimate, and I'm going to say it, Fitzy, this is the 4th time in a row we've done this post-game show where you have a franchise quarterback. He is trending in a positive direction. You mentioned it, 17th start. He now has his comeback victory on the road in Buffalo against Josh Allen. He's got his wow plays, whether you want to pick out the rolling to the right, hitting Steph Diggs down the field to set up the touchdown, or you want to have the, I got a guy who's 320 pounds dragging me down, but I'm still going to throw it to Diggs to get the first down. You had a special performance by Drake May and I will say, started a little rocky. That's why there was a little bit of a tale of two halves here. He was skittish at best in the first half, but the skittishness did not lead to losing plays, didn't lead to interceptions or really. He took a couple bad sacks. That was the summation of his poor first half, which allowed you to be in position to take advantage of turnovers from the Bills and to rack up some points and to win a football game. Ladies and gentlemen, the New England Patriots, Patriot Nation, has a franchise quarterback.
And the Buffalo Bills have an iced-out rivalry jersey that they are never going to want to wear again.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet, though. Yeah, I get Tirico bitching about the numbers. He couldn't see him from the press box. Well, I don't care. I'm watching on TV.
The only one you need to know tonight, Andy, there were 3 numbers on the Patriots that you really needed to know tonight. 10, 8, and 0.
Yeah, pretty much. That kind of works.
I'm with you. Drake May, everyone knew about Drake May. Everyone thought they had an idea that Drake May was going to be something special. Everyone had been hearing all the praise, the hyperbole, all the love, the statistical comparisons, the predictions for just exactly how spectacular he can become, just who he belongs in the same conversation with or who he reminds them of. It's the quarterback that he played opposite tonight, and he outplayed him. He just straight up, flat out outplayed him. And some of those rollouts, some of those roll plays to the right where he hit Steph Diggs, tell me that didn't remind you of, 3-4 years ago, the guy Drake May is so frequently compared to, Josh Allen rolling to his right and throwing a dart to Steph Diggs. It's amazing.